How's the beach, Lori? I'm sure it's beautiful. The island of Kauai is beautiful. I've been there. I'd live there, but I have a family to take care of. Here's what we know. Tylee and JJ are last seen exactly 135 days ago. Almost 5 months. It's unacceptable. Dead, Charles Vallow. Dead, Tammy Daybell. Dead, Alex Cox. Dead, Joseph Ryan. Attempted murder, Brandon Bordeaux. And most important, 2 missing children, JJ Vallow and Tylee Ryan. Welcome to Missing Murder Vanished, Part 9. Lori Vallow, Chad Daybell, Tylee Ryan, JJ Vallow. Update, February 5th, 2020. Justin Lum, Fox 10 Phoenix, provided some really interesting documentation today. Welcome to an episode of Left Undone, Incomplete Investigations. I'm Catherine. So you will see in the news report, because I did upload that at the end of this, but these documents were provided by Justin Lum, Fox 10 Phoenix, and really interesting. The first one is Lori Vallow sent an email to the academy that JJ was going to disenroll him. It was sent on Thursday, September 5th at 7:26 a.m. The subject was Joshua Vallow. Hi, Academy, I don't know the name of the person, but hi and life friends. Since the circumstances in our lives have changed drastically since my husband passed away last month, FYI, it was July 11th, not last month. I have been offered a job out of state and I have had to accept it. We have had to move quickly since the job started ASAP. So I'm sad to inform you that Joshua won't be returning this year. You have been so great to get him in this year, and his DDD funding and scholarship have just all finally been settled. I really appreciate all you've done for JJ. I will continue to recommend life to all of our friends like I did with blank. We are doing our best to adjust to our new life. Please let me know what you need me to do to withdraw him. You can email me a withdrawal form or whatever needs to happen. Thank you again, Life Academy. We really loved our time with you. Lori Vallow. Okay, so number 1. And you'll hear this in Justin's report. She lied to them. She told them that Charles committed suicide. Right? So, okay. She lied to them about when he died. I'm pretty sure people watch the news in Phoenix. I'm just saying. Okay. Pretty interesting. Because as Justin Lum says, Lori never provided the transfer papers from the old school to the new school when he moved to Rexburg. So, Lori. And I'm sorry, the way she wrote this letter is atrocious. Like, it's hard to read because it says something like, what does it say here? Since my husband passed away last month, I've been offered a job out of state and I've had to accept it. We have had to move quickly since the job started ASAP. Oh, okay, because she had already moved? No. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Anyways, yeah. Okay, Lori. She's so full of lies, she makes my head scrambled, for real. And the next document is an order of protection that Charles filed against Lori. It says, plaintiff is Charles Vallow, defendant Lori N. Vallow. And it says the defendant and I are married since 2/24/2006. We have a child in common, alias Lori Ryan Vallow. And then warnings to defendant. This order shall be enforced even without registration by the courts of any state, the District of Columbia, any U.S. territory, and may be enforced by tribal lands. Crossing state, territorial, tribal boundaries to violate this order may result in federal imprisonment. As a result of this order, it may be unlawful for you to possess or purchase a firearm, ammunition pursuant to federal law under 18 for you and or state, tribal, territorial, or local law. If you have any questions whether these laws make it legal for you to possess or purchase a firearm, you should consult an attorney. Only the court in writing can change this order. This order is effective for 1 year from the date of service. And it says, the court hereby finds that it has jurisdiction over the parties and subject matter. Additional warnings are set forth on the next page. The court finding reasonable cause to believe that the defendant may commit an act of domestic violence or has committed an act of domestic violence within the past year, or good cause exists to consider a longer period, hereby orders. The defendant shall not commit any crimes, including, but not limited to, harassment, stalking, or conduct involving the use, attempted use, or threatened use of physical force that would reasonably be expected to cause bodily injury against plaintiff or protected persons. The next page says no contact. Defendant shall have no contact with plaintiff except through attorneys, legal process, court hearings, and as follows. Other. This is not a custody parenting time order. Defendant's child is not on this order of protection. This order does not prohibit defendant from having contact with her child. Defendant may only contact plaintiff electronically through text messages only. Other types of electronic contact, including fax and email messages, are not permitted. Text messaging is only permitted for the purpose of discussing parenting issues involving the party's child. Defendant shall not contact plaintiff for any other reason or in any other manner except for texts in regard to payment of bills and or disposition of property. The court further orders residence. Plaintiff is granted exclusive use and possession of the residence listed below. Law enforcement standby. Defendant may return once with law enforcement officer to obtain necessary personal belongings. Neither law enforcement nor this protective order can resolve conflicts over property, title, furniture, finance, real estate, or other ownership issues. Protected locations. Defendant shall not go to or near plaintiff's or other protected person's residence. Blah, blah, Gilbert, Arizona. Then it was signed by a judicial officer on 2/4/19. February 4th, 19, exactly a year ago. Jerry Bernstein. This is a warning. This is an official court order. If you disobey this order, you will be subject to arrest and prosecution of the crime of interfering with judicial proceedings and any other crime you may have committed in disobeying this order. It says additional warnings to defendant. Violations of this order shall be reported to law enforcement agency, not the court. Both parties must notify this court if an action for dissolution, divorce, separation, annulment, paternity is filed. This is not a parenting time visitation or custody order. You must file those requests separately through the Superior Court. If you disagree with this order, you have the right to request a hearing, which will be held within 5 to 10 business days after your written request has been filed in the court that issued this order. Nothing plaintiff does can stop, change, or undo this order without the court's written approval. You must appear in court to ask judge to modify, change, or dismiss this order, even if the plaintiff initiates contact. You could be arrested and prosecuted for violating this protective order. If you do not want the plaintiff to contact you, you have the right to request a protection order against the plaintiff. However, orders are not automatically granted upon request. Legal requirements must be met. Gosh, I'm just so bummed that he didn't go through with all this stuff. Why did he try to work on the marriage? I mean, they were married for a long time, 14 years, and I'm sure he wanted her to snap out of whatever was going on, but dang, he should have never, ever, ever stopped this. Kept the protective order. He should have, could, hindsight 2020. He should have met at whenever they exchanged JJ at a neutral place. I mean, he didn't move in with her in the Chandler house, so stuff was still wacky. It just really bums me out because it seems like, from what everybody says that knows him and everything that I've read, and he seemed like a good guy. I mean, he seemed like he really was a good dad. And Lori's just, I'm sorry, but Lori's evil, and this is worse. This is getting worse every day when I learn how much she lies and just all the crap she's put everybody through. And how on earth does Chad Daybell just think he's got his new Barbie doll? But you guys, I've been hesitating about ordering his book, but I do think I'm going to get his autobiography, because I did see some little weird, creepy clips from that. And, um, you know, I just think it may really have some clues, and it would be worth kind of, just exploring to see where his mind was at when he wrote that, because I think he's as wacky as she is. I mean, they're under each other's spell for sure. And there was rumor, or not rumor, it was noted that they actually went to church this past Sunday at the LDS church in, I believe it's either Lahui or Kapaha, anyways, on Kauai, and talked to people and stuff. So, but of course, they didn't have the children with them. So that's another thing I have to delve into real soon here. But we'll keep going with these tonight's releases of these documents. Okay, guys, the next page is rather interesting, because this is the one where Charles has to explain why he's asking for the order of protection. It just says, yes, we have a child in common. Now we are married. Yes, we're married. And have you or the defendant been charged or arrested for domestic violence or requested a protective order? No, he marks no. And it says, number 4 says, I need a court order because, and it says print both the dates and a brief description of what happened. And it says, tell the judge what happened and why you need this order. A copy of this petition is provided to the defendant when the court order is served. He writes, January 29th, 2019, she told me that she was a god and was assigned to carry out the work of the 144,000 at Christ's second coming in July of 2020. She said I was in the way and she would have to murder me if I tried to stop her. Then the next the next thing where she threatened him was the next day, 1:30, 2019. The next day on a business trip to Houston, she called and told me she didn't trust me and would have to kill me when I got home. She would have an angel there to help dispose of my body. And she also said she knew my real name was Nick Schneider and said I'd have to go, and painfully. That's exactly what happened. He went, and he went painfully. And apparently her angel was Alex, who has now crossed to the other side of this veil or whatever at this point. So pretty crazy stuff, folks, really crazy stuff. And then the next page, it just says the following persons shall also be on this order as stated in number 4. The defendant is a danger to them. Joshua Vallow. And then number 6 says, defendant should be ordered to stay away from these locations at all time, even when I'm not present. Then it's their home, work, home, school. The school is Lawrence Institute for Education. So that would be JJ's school. And then number 7, if checked, because of the risk of harm, order the defendant not to possess firearms or ammunition. And 8, if checked, order, and it is checked, the defendant to participate in domestic violence counseling or other counseling. This can be ordered only after hearing of which the defendant had notice and an opportunity to participate. And number 9, it says other. Bailey is a black golden doodle, and he is JJ's service dog. So I don't know why this didn't happen. I'm gonna have to look further into it, but I'm thinking he didn't ever get hurt. She never got served. I don't know. I don't know if it got taken down. So we need to look into that. And then Charles signs it. February 4th, 2019, a year ago yesterday. What happened after that, huh? And then this is interesting from Maricopa County again. It is a search warrant. It says to any peace officer in the state of Arizona, proof by affidavit having been made this day before me by Detective Blank of the Chandler Police Department, there is probable cause to believe that the hereinafter described property or person presently located within the hereinafter described location is connected with the commission of public offense, to wit, conspiracy to commit homicide, first degree, which occurred on or about July 11th, 2019 in Maricopa County, and additional dates as listed in the affidavit. That said person, property, or things is evidence that tends to show that the particular person has committed the public offense in a manner more fully described in the affidavit, a copy of which is attached hereunto and incorporated herein. You are therefore commanded in the daytime, according to ARS 13-39616, to make a search of life, Lauren Institute of Education, which is where JJ went to school in Gilbert, Arizona, for the following property or things, to wit: all school records for Joshua Jackson Vallow, aka JJ Vallow, with the date of birth of 5/25/12, including personal identifying information, family information, medical conditions, including prescribed medications, time of attendance, documented contact with family, and any forwarding information to potential new schools. And if you find any or part thereof, seize it, leaving a copy of this warrant and receipt for the property taken, and prepare a written inventory of the property seized, and promptly return this warrant and a list of the property seized to the Chandler Police Department, and retain the seized item as required by law to ARS 133920. Herein fail not, but of this writ make due return within 3 days of the day thereof, as the law directs. Given under my hand the 6th day of December 2019. Honorable Rudy Whithill or something like that. I can't read that. So they actually point out in here that the reason they are getting all of JJ's records is because conspiracy to commit homicide, first degree, which occurred on or about July 11th. So now they do think that it was murder, obviously. And that is rather interesting because they're like, oh, it's under investigation. They haven't said much. But this flat out says that they are searching using the search warrants because they believe that Lori is involved in conspiracy to commit homicide on July 11th. God, why did they let her go? Why? Why didn't they match up their stories better? Their stories sucked, you guys. That nobody's stories, it's like they talked about it and got some things right, but Tylee going back in the house, Lori taking off in the car, Lori saying she heard a shot, but didn't see a shot, but then saw a body, but was outside. Oh my goodness, this is a mess. All right, well, there you have it. There's one other paper here, and all this one is the warrant that was served to Lori, and it was in the interest of in Hawaii, Tylee Ashlyn Ryan and Joshua Jackson Vallow, and then it basically is the warrant that says this case having come before the court of the state position, this is Idaho, under the Child Protective Act and for good cause shown, it is hereby ordered as follows: A, the above captioned children shall be placed in shelter care in the custody of the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare, and if and when they are located, and a shelter care shall be held within 48 hours after placement of the children in shelter care, excluding weekends and holidays. B, the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare shall conduct an investigation into the health, safety, and welfare of the minor children and provide the resulting report to the court within 15 days from the issuance of this order. C, Lori Vallow shall physically produce minor children to the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare within 5 days of the service of this order. Specifically, Lori Vallow must turn over the children to the office of the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare, located at 333 Walker Drive, Rexburg, Idaho, 83440, or at the Rexburg, Idaho Police Department, located at 25 East Main Street, Rexburg, Idaho, 83440. So, she obviously didn't comply with that, and obviously still nothing's happening. I really hope something's happening. I gotta trust that with all the mistakes and all the mess, that the FBI or somebody is really involved in this is gonna get to the bottom of this. And I'm really thinking I'm starting to really have doubt about the kids, which sucks. I want to have hope. So we know that Lori lied about the death of Charles to all kinds of people. Suicide to the school, heart attack to her son Colby. The last day that JJ was at school in the Arizona school was on 8:30, August 30th. He was withdrawn then on September 5th. Um, and next up, I'm going to put on the clip here of Justin Lum's broadcast tonight from Fox 10 Phoenix, which is really interesting. There's a little more information in there as well. And please do me a favor, comment, like, subscribe, and ring the bell to get notified when there will be new updates. I am trying to update everything as it happens. As soon as I find out something, I've been updating as fast as possible. I have videos that aren't quite done yet that I've been working on that have more backstory, but I'm trying to stay up to date with what's going on right now. So please like, subscribe, comment. I really could use more subscribers. I want to do a live video. People have asked me to do it, but I would like to get my subscribers up a little bit before we do a live video to talk about the case. So if you're watching and you'd like to be part of that, subscribing would really help me to get to that point. Okay,
we're getting our first look at documents that give us a better idea of what happened before the disappearance of two kids with Arizona ties, specifically 7-year-old J.J. Vallow.
This is a convoluted story, but it is connected to Arizona, and we've just uncovered where the little guy went to school and why police were served a search warrant there just 2 months ago. Fox 10's Justin Lum is live with exclusive details.
John, Kerry, from the start of 2019 up until now, we know Lori Vallow's tracks span multiple states. But once she moved from Chandler to Rexburg, Idaho, well, that's when she sent this email regarding her son. Lori said JJ wasn't coming back to Life Academy. And an official there tells me the mother lied about the death of her late husband, Charles. 2 yellow ribbons in honor of 2 missing kids making international headlines. 7-year-old J.J. Vallow received special services for his autism here at Lawrence Institute for Education in Gilbert. J.J. last attended Life Academy on August 30th, 2019. A high-ranking official tells Fox 10 on September 5th, Lori Vallow withdrew her son from school via phone and email. Lori said she got a job promotion in California. Her email reads in part, "Our lives have changed drastically since my husband passed away last month. But Charles Vallow actually died 2 months before she took JJ out of the academy. Chandler police say Lori's brother Alex Cox shot Charles in the chest after a fight. But according to the school staff, Lori told them her husband killed himself. 5 months before that, Charles voiced his concerns to the school in February. He brought up an order of protection he filed against Lori. The initial petition claims she called herself a god and accused Charles of being a man named Nick Schneider, threatening to murder him if he got in her way. Charles's lawyers could never locate Lori to serve the order. Even her oldest son, Colby, had no idea where she was this time last year.
All that stuff happened, I think, within a week. So I don't know exactly the timeline on that, but I know that she left.
By March 7th, Charles pulled JJ from school and moved to Houston. But a few months later, the Vallow family reconciled and moved to Chandler. The parents enrolled JJ back at Life Academy. Fox 10 also obtained a Chandler police search warrant to recover all JJ's records at Life Academy, served on December 6th. This document says there's probable cause to believe property is linked to a conspiracy to commit first-degree homicide on July 11th. Chandler police couldn't comment further, but says the case remains open. And Life Academy released this statement. It reads in part, "Our hearts continue to ache during this time. We all want to know where JJ is and know that he's safe. JJ is a beautiful boy who has a smile that goes on for days. His joy of life was contagious. He started with us as a very quiet child and soon blossomed into a child who loved coming to class, loved being with his friends, and loved to talk about his family." Life Academy also tells me Lori never followed former process to withdraw JJ, and the school never got a records request from his next school, Kennedy Elementary in Rexburg, Idaho, which staff says isn't normal. Live in the studio, Justin Lum, Fox 10 News.
Again, please like, subscribe, and ring the bell and comment, and I will be back with another episode. Thank you for watching Left Undone, Incomplete Investigations. I'm Catherine.